Okay, in this last Excel 101 video, we'll take a look at creating charts. So far, we've just been looking at the home screen, and we've covered a number of things that have brought us to the point where we have our totals and averages for things in quarter 1. And so we wanted to make a chart. So I'm going to show you how to make a couple of different charts. First, we'll start with January, February, and March. So if I highlight just January, February, and March with the expenses, sans everything else, I'm going to go over on the menu to the word insert up at the top and look at the recommended charts. Okay, so they basically are giving me some options to look at. And you can see here, just before I put it in, it says Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. Well, guess what, folks? That represents the actual names of my expenses. So I think I want to make some changes in what data is going to be included. So I'm going to cancel that out. And let's go ahead and highlight all of this. We'll leave the averages out and we'll click on recommended charts. Now you can see here that it's showing a trend line. It's also indicating that January, I've got supplies, travel, and utilities. In February, you can see my travel is quite high, and that really is true when I look at the numbers. So my visuals are coming out pretty snazzy. So that's one option. The other option is it could give me some totals. Oh, now that's really fancy. I really like that. So I think I'm going to go with that. So I click OK, and I get a chart down here. Oops, let me click undo. I'll move that. When this is selected, you can move it. So I've got January, February, and March. January's blue, February is orange, and March is gray. So that's how this ended up breaking down. And I got my totals here. So in the end, let's go over here. In the end, oops, March was my most expensive month. And you can see here that that's true according to everything I see here. All right, so that just shows you how it was represented visually. You always have the option to look at different chart types after you insert it. You're not stuck with the one that you originally picked. And you always can modify it further, but the bottom line is if you're just getting started, knowing how to get a chart in that represents your data, now that's key. If you don't like what you started with, you can always go back and start from scratch. The other option that you have is you have the ability to show and not show different things. So you can make the axis title appear or not. You can have data labels appear or not. So that's up to you. Now, if you want to edit the chart title, you just click in it and we can call this quarter 1. All right. And we're good to go. So now we have this chart that we can edit and change fonts and do different things with. Okay. You also have the option to move the chart. Now, a lot of times you want the chart to be big in a different location. So if I click on Move Chart, I can move it to a new sheet and call it quarter 1 chart. Quarter 1 chart. Instead of having it be, and there you go. So now it's there. Now let's say that supplies, I'm going to add, I'm going to make supplies go through the roof. So let's say supplies here was 5,427 because we bought a new server or something. Okay, let's go back to the chart. Look at supplies, goes through the roof. So even though you move it to a new sheet, while the data is being updated, it updates on the chart, which is kind of a cool thing. So have some fun with charts. They're incredible ways to represent your data visually, and there's lots of charts to choose from in Excel.